If you're going to Ghana for the first time, this video is for you. I want to cover the top mistakes you want to avoid when heading to Ghana. These tips are in no particular ranking order. Let's get to it. CDs is king. This is Ghana's currency. You want to make sure that you have Ghana's currency on you, not USD, when you're traveling around Ghana. I want to point out 3 tips for you to make this a little bit easier. First option is you should contact your bank or credit union to see if you can order the currency before getting to Ghana. This may help you save on fees that you may experience when going to a currency exchange, which is going to be my point number 2. If you can't order the currency at your bank or credit union before getting to Ghana, you're going to have to go to a currency exchange, take your USD and exchange it out for Ghana's currency. You can do this in the airport, and the airports usually are the most expensive options, just so you know. And this is because they add on extra fees on top of giving you the conversion rate. Okay, so keep that in mind. Airports are usually the most expensive. The third option that I personally use is I have a Charles Schwab international checking account. This video is not sponsored, so I'm just recommending this because this is what I used when I was in Ghana and just traveling the world. It's convenient to just pop in my ATM and take out the local currency without having to worry about any fees. This checking account does not charge any ATM fees, foreign or like their own ATM fees that you may get at your bank. I'm not paying that. I'm not paying any 3% transaction fees for it being foreign currency. The only thing that I have to worry about is if the ATM is going to be working, because I know I'm going to get the best conversion rate when I go to the ATM using my Charles Schwab account. So those are 3 options. There are other ways that you can convert your money over, but I'm just going to point out those 3. If you have any questions about currency exchange, make sure you leave them below. Don't make the mistake of not packing your patience when using ride-sharing apps in Ghana, specifically Accra. I went during a very busy time, Detty December, so it was a lot of things going on and people. 3 things I want to mention. Number 1, have CDs on hand. Drivers do not want you to pay them using a card through the app. They are going to expect cash, and they are going to call you to confirm that. Secondly, drivers will call you in the app to confirm where you are at and where you are going. They are doing this typically because they want to make sure the drive is worth their while. They're not going to drive all the way from one end of Accra in traffic to come pick you up or have you cancel because it's taking too long and they're wasting their gas and their time. Lastly, be prepared to have multiple drivers cancel on you, or you cancel on drivers just because of point 1 and 2. I will say just number 1, you better make sure you have cash when using ride sharing. Like, do not expect to pay with a card. That is not a thing. And just, I guess you could say point number 4 in this suggestion for using ride sharing apps is take a taxi if you feel comfortable. If you are in heavy traffic areas, if you're leaving a festival stadium area, if you're leaving a beach club party, hey, taxis are going to be out there and they're going to be more readily available to use than an app. Okay, so be prepared to negotiate the price before getting into the ride. Make sure you have you have the route going on your phone, so they won't try to play you and say, oh, it was further than what I thought or whatever. And you can just make sure you're getting to where you need to go. I didn't have any issues with a taxi cab driver. I did not get in a taxi alone. I was with other people. So I just want to put that out there. I will be talking about safety in another point. That is my tips for ride sharing. Let's move on to the next one. I am so rude. I did not even introduce myself. My name is Tasha, and welcome to Tasha's Journey. And if you want to see more content like this and getting tips on personal finance, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now let's get back to the video. Don't make the mistake of paying the first price given to you by a shopkeeper or a taxi cab. AKA, be prepared to negotiate. The first price that's given to you is the highest, and the expectation is that you're going to negotiate down. If the price is 200 CDs, for example, when I'm at a shop to buy, like, let's say a skirt or something, I want to pay 100 CDs. They may say, no, we need you to at least pay 175. You get what I'm saying? Like, you want to cut it in half and start trying to meet them in the middle of whatever the price is. Also, if you're buying a lot of souvenirs from one particular shop, you definitely want to come down because you're buying more and more items from them. And when you are taking a taxi, I've already mentioned this, but I want to reiterate, make sure that you confirm the price of what you're going to pay before you take off in the taxi. And also keep CDs on you. Remember, CDs is king in Ghana. You want to be able to negotiate, and it would be best if you're negotiating if you actually have the proper denominations. There's nothing worse than negotiating a price and then you have to wait and hope they have changed because you have these large denominations of CDs. So keep that in mind. Internet suggestions for Ghana. I didn't have any Wi-Fi issues. I think I maybe had one period where internet was a little slow when I was uploading to YouTube when I was in my Airbnb, but in my hotel, Wi-Fi was no issues. I have T-Mobile coverage for cell phone. Let's talk cell phone internet for a minute. I didn't have any issues, and I have Google Fi. I have two cell phones, okay? And Google Fi was but T-Mobile, no issues. It roamed the whole time. However, when you roam, you're draining your battery. Keep that in mind. And also, phone calls are 25 cents a minute, I believe, for T-Mobile, and it varies by carrier. Like I had Verizon when I first started traveling the world, and I think it's just $10 a day flat out. I don't know what it is for AT&T, but you need to call before leaving to understand what the charges will be when you're traveling internationally. This is why I suggest that if you have an old phone, dust that phone off and bring it so you can purchase a SIM card in Ghana. I love purchasing SIM cards when I'm traveling the world and put it in my other phone for two reasons. First and foremost, I can put that in there and use it as a hotspot, and I don't have to worry about roaming and draining my battery on my phone. Secondly, it gives me a local number. Having a local number did come in handy sometimes when using ride sharing apps, because the drivers do call you through the app sometimes, but sometimes they'll see when they go to call, they'll see it's a US number and they don't even call you. They just say cancel the ride because they're trying to call you to confirm the two things I talked about in the ride sharing app bullet point area. So I found it useful to have the local SIM card in my extra phone. If you don't have an extra phone, it's not the end of the world. Everyone I met only had one phone when I was there, and they were navigating just fine. However, I did not have any issues ever as far as internet connection, and sometimes people were like, can I connect to your hotspot? Because my roaming is, I don't want to drain my battery with the roaming. So that is what I'm saying, but keeping in mind that you may want to get a SIM card and pop it in. If you pop a SIM card in your regular phone, your people in your home country will not have access to you, because if they're calling your phone, you won't have that number. That number won't ring your phone anymore because you have a Ghana number. So keep all of that in mind, which brings me to the next point of WhatsApp. Don't make the mistake of not having WhatsApp downloaded to your phone before arriving in Ghana. Yes, you can download it once you're there. However, WhatsApp will be your lifeline when you're in Ghana, because you are going to be hopefully meeting Ghanaians. They're going to have their number on WhatsApp. You're going to be meeting other people in the diaspora when you're there, and everyone's going to use WhatsApp. You're very rarely going to be using your actual text message or your phone feature when you're traveling. Having it downloaded before you arrive and making sure that your family and friends that you talk to are also downloaded and using it. That's what I'm recommending. I'm saying this because if you're going to be there for an extended period of time, calling and talking to people on the phone is going to be a per minute type of thing, and it could run your bill up. You're going to want to call people through WhatsApp. And I be making sure that people I made people making sure that, like, my mom, for example, had WhatsApp downloaded before I left the US, because it's like, you know how you tell people you got a new number and to save it, and they never save it and they never download the app you tell them to get? You want to make sure that people get into the habit of communicating with you on WhatsApp before you leave. If you don't travel internationally a lot, it's not, you may not use that application all the time. Just be prepared to use it. Make sure you have the right travel adapter. You don't want to make the mistake in not having an adapter for type D as in dog and G for giraffe. Ghana uses those two type of outlet plugs. So if you have your regular little plug from the US or type B and C and try to plug it into an outlet in Ghana, chances are it will not work. Make sure when you are getting your travel adapter, whether you're getting it from Amazon, going to Target to pick it up, make sure that it has both those options, or get 2 different adapters so you can make sure you have the availability to plug your electronics into the respective outlet. Side note, I did stay in a hotel in Ghana and they had universal plugs, so I actually was able to plug my electronics directly into the wall. But in my Airbnb, that was not the case. That is why it's important to make sure you have your travel adapter. Don't make the mistake in not having a portable charger with you, or make the mistake of not always having your plug-in charger with you to be able to use wherever you're going. I say this because when you're traveling internationally and you're using roaming on your phone, your battery is going to drain. You need to keep it on airplane mode for the most part, so you won't just lose your battery, because that's going to be different from when you are in your home country. It's not roaming constantly. Roaming drains the battery. Secondly, it's traffic, and it's going to take a while to get to where you gotta go in Ghana. And just in general, things are a little bit slower, and it may be a while before you get back to your place to charge your phone. So keep that portable charger with you. I actually, believe it or not, did not have a portable charger, just because I always kept my plug-in charger with me every time I got to a restaurant. Hey, can I charge my phone? I didn't have any issues with that, but sometimes we would be out all day, like on tours, and I'm like, I ain't have nowhere to plug in my phone, but I kept it on airplane mode and I kept 2 phones with me, so I maneuver that. But don't make the mistake of not having a purse to carry on you, or if you are a male, to have a little backpack to carry on you. You can buy this in Ghana. You don't need to come to Ghana with that, but be prepared to have this as you're maneuvering during the day. You know why? Because you gonna need some survival things to make it through the Ghana heat. Now, if you are from the South in the US, you may be like, I'm used to the heat, you know, it's humid. I'm from Detroit, you might say it's humid in Detroit, I can handle the heat. Let me explain something to you. When you are on vacation in Ghana, it's gonna be fun. Like, I know I had an amazing time, and you're gonna be out of your hotel, your Airbnb, a lot during the day. There's traffic, so trying to hurry up and get back to your place to get certain things could be a hassle. Do yourself a favor, have a purse or a bag on you so you can keep the following items. A fan. I have seen a lot of males having a fan because they was they was dying in that heat. Okay, having that fan, having a sweat rag so you can wipe the sweat off of you, because if you anything like me, you're gonna be glistening. And most importantly, to have packets like hydration packets. It could look like the Crystal Light packages of electrolytes. I'm not saying you need to have like 3 packets of these a day, but you want to keep a packet on you. Just because you're drinking a lot of water does not mean you're being properly hydrated. You need electrolytes. Now, coconut water, I believe, has a lot of electrolytes, and coconut water is very prominent in Ghana. However, if you don't like coconut water like me, you want to make sure that you have some type of way of getting your electrolytes. So keep that in mind. It's easy to forget these things when you're thinking, I want a vacation party, You're not going to be like just at a resort secluded. Well, you could be if that's the vacation you book. You want to be out and about with the people. So have your survival kit ready with you in your bag, having your fan, having your electrolyte mix, and having a sweat rag and all of the things. And I forgot to mention mosquito repellent. I don't know how I forgot that. You need to keep this on you, because you are not going to just spray it once and be done. No, you need to apply mosquito repellent throughout the day. I only got ate up by mosquitoes one day, and that's because I was by water. It was like, I don't care what I had on, how much mosquito repellent I put on. Being at the beach, it was just like, it was a no, I got ate up. But just being at festivals and parties, outdoor parties and stuff, I didn't have any issues because I was applying mosquito repellent where people did it, and they was like borrowing mine. So you want to just make sure you have your mosquito repellent, your sweat rag, your fan, and your electrolyte drink mix, so you can be ready. Don't make the mistake in not getting a well-rounded experience when visiting Ghana. And what I mean by this is, try to get a little bit of everything. From, for example, I went for Afrochella, I went Detty December, I wanted to party, I wanted to bring in New Year's, and I did all of that. But I also wanted to make sure that I learned history, the history that you can't really read in the books, especially nowadays in the US. But that's another video for another day. But even if you can't make it out to Elmina Castle to do the slave tour, you can do a history tour in Accra City, if that's what you're saying, if that's where you're located in. There's so much history in the heart of Ghana, from Black Star Square to other museums that are around. So that's what I mean about getting a well-rounded experience. And my travel guide was amazing, Kwabe. I'm going to link his information in the description box below. He is amazing, and hopefully I can have him on the channel. We can do a little interview so he can give you tips from the perspective of being an awesome tour guide. Secondly, food. Ghanaian food, woo, it's so good. It is so good. Ghana is one of my top countries as far as, like, when I say the food, it be on point. But don't just make the mistake of going to the Instagrammable restaurants. Those places are good. Don't skip on the street food. Don't skip on the local restaurants as well. That food is good. Get that well-rounded experience and try to get traditional Ghanaian meals. I can't think of any of the meals off the top of my head to name in this video, but I have travel vlogs of my experience, so you can check them out here. So I'm not just telling you these things. You can see how I experience Accra for yourself. And from food, history, nightlife, make sure if you can go to the after parties, before parties, all of that, get a little bit of taste of everything. Because one thing I love about Ghana is people still dancing there. It's still a vibe. Even though you have people from all of the diaspora, the Ghanaians be getting it. It's a vibe. They know how to party and just have a good time. And also just try to connect with people when you're doing your day-to-day. Like, I learned it as far as like the ride sharing thing from talking and asking questions. I wanted to understand like what the culture was like from the day-to-day. Like, you know what I'm saying? How do you feel about so many people coming back to Ghana to visit? Is it good or bad? Like, I've just asked all type of questions to people when I was in the ride sharing. If I was in a store, somebody approached me or just started up a conversation. Is Ghana safe? Short answer, yes. Did I have safety concerns in Ghana? Yes. Do I have safety concerns in the US of A? Yes. I put that out there just because I want Americans to stop thinking that the US is the safest place in the world. We do have a little bit of brainwashing going on with that. And I'm just speaking from personal experience. I know I'm on a soapbox right now, but let me cook. I have been traveling the world by myself, and the first thing is, oh my God, you're gonna be safe, you're gonna be safe, you're gonna be safe. It's like, have you seen the news? Have you seen the headlines? Do you see what's going on in your backyard? I just want people to be mindful of that. Yes, I know when you're in a foreign country, if you're scared, you can't call someone to come help you like you could in the US. But let's be real. You may be calling people, they may be asleep. They may have their phone on do not disturb. All right, I'm done with that soapbox. But in all seriousness, my safety concerns in Ghana just stem from men just doing the most with flirting and like not leaving me alone. So in the Airbnb I stayed in, I did have a issue with one of the security guards. It's like, I'm not interested in your friend or you or whatever, and coming up to my door, I was a little concerned about that. And just men flirting in general, just like not like letting up. And I mentioned this in another video, and I do read all my comments on my videos, and I do get the perspective that, hey, you came in Detty December, it could not have been Ghanaians, it could have been people throughout the diaspora. December is a busiest time. It's not just Ghanaians, it's not a reflection on Ghana. And I do get that. My safety concerns were actually with Ghanaians, and I'm not trying to say like, oh my God, I'm never coming back, because that's not the case. I like love my time in Ghana. I would just say that the men flirt and do the most, and it's annoying. It can be constant. Like, you get to the point where you can't even like carry about your day to day because you're being bombarded. That's my only complaint, for real. Like, I didn't have any concerns of like I don't even want to mention the things. I'm gonna put them on the screen because I don't want to be demonetized. But overall, I felt safe in Ghana. I was there by myself for a period of time, and I was with travel guides. If you need clarification on anything that I covered, make sure you let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more tips on Ghana, or actually see what my experience was like in Ghana, make sure you watch the next video on screen. Until next time, bye.